In my first video on this channel, I told you about my investments on this Obitrek exercise machine, and I told you also that I bought a mini treadmill for myself. But what I didn't tell you that day is the day I bought it, I was actually diagnosed with pre-diabetics. Yeah, it was a shocking day for me, but let's talk about you. When was the last time you checked your blood sugar level? Personally, I've lost some family members and some friends to diabetes. So, from time to time, I go to check my blood sugar so that I will know how it is at every particular point in time. Yeah, I know they say ignorance is bliss, but let me tell you something. When it comes to your health, ignorance is a terrible mistake. You just have to know. Okay, now, while reading so many researches and reports on diabetes, I discovered some shocking information. One of the things I actually discovered is that many people have diabetics. Like, it progressed from pre-diabetics to diabetics, type 2 diabetics, and they didn't even discover it. According to the IDF Atlas, 10.2% of adults between the ages of 20 to 79 already has diabetics. And you know the scarier part? They are living with diabetes, but they don't even know at all. Another shocking thing I discovered is that anybody can develop diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is so easy to develop, and you will not even know that you've already gotten it. Okay, now why are they developing this? Because if you have a family history of it, if you are living this sedentary lifestyle whereby your physical activities are limited, or you have other health conditions like high cholesterol, PCOS, and all of them, you are at a higher risk of developing it. And if you're not checking your blood sugar, like you're not on top of your health, you will develop it without even realizing. Now, when it comes to even the type 1 diabetes, that some people actually believe it can only be developed based on family history, I discovered that just a little percentage of people develop this type 1 diabetes because of family history. Now, according to the National Library of Medicine, it's only 2.5% of people that will develop type 1 diabetes if their mom, their mothers had type 1 diabetes. Also, the same report shared that just 6 to 7% of people whose fathers had type 1 diabetes are at risk of developing type 1 diabetes. This simply tells us that it is not just because you have a family history of diabetes that puts you at risk of developing it. Anybody can develop type 1 or type 2 diabetes. In fact, yeah, type 1 diabetes can be developed maybe because of genetic makeup or infection with some viruses. Yes, according to a Mayo Clinic report that I read, type 1 diabetics can be developed by genetic makeup, and then if you are infected with some viruses. Also, even though type 1 diabetics is a kind of prevalent among the children and the adolescent age, adults can also develop this diabetes. It's not just about family history. So please stop thinking like me of the past. Like, I never thought I'll be diagnosed with pre-diabetics when I got the result. Stay on top of your health. Make sure you're checking your blood sugar level. Welcome to Glodikany Wellness. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Follow us so that everything we uncover, we share it, and share these videos. Even if you don't need them, somebody around you needs them. Yeah, since you're busy chasing money up and down, ignoring your health, I will be busy chasing researchers and doctors, trying to help you protect your health from the background. Now guys, let's go and test my own blood sugar, because I actually want to do it this morning. Like, I've not done it since January. I'm really curious about how it is right now. Hey, wait, Ness, come and test me. China, this thing dey pain you. Oh. Ah, your own no too pain. The last one, why do pain? You be expert, I go dey come on. One waiting. Jesus Christ. It's too high. Guys, that was very painful. And you can see my blood sugar read very high, even though it's a random blood sugar because I actually ate rice this morning. It's still very high. Of course, I have a remedy for it, and I'm going to take it to show you. And as we go along this video, I'm going to teach you how to prepare this remedy yourself. That's the essence of this video. I don't want you to go and be buying something made in one place that you do not know. I want you to make it yourself with natural ingredients, of course. I've been making this and I've been using it, so I'm going to show you how to prepare it. But before we continue, let me take it because, of course, my blood sugar this morning is high. Now here is this remedy, and don't mind how it is. It's very bitter. Yeah, it's very bitter. I know you are thinking or asking yourself, why is Glodikany going through all this self-inflicted pain, pricking my finger and taking this bitter medicine? Well, the answer is that I don't want to develop diabetes. Remember, I told you I have a relative. In fact, let me say my mom, before she died, she developed it. So you can see from the reports we read together, my chances of developing it are a little bit higher than yours if you don't have any parents. But you see, we also discovered that even though you don't have a parent or a relative that is living or has ever developed diabetes, anybody can develop it. So I'm just trying to be on top of my game here. Remember, my health is my real wealth. So if you're like me, who is really, really interested in keeping fit and making sure you can prevent all the preventable diseases that exist, I want you to take it serious. Because if you are not living a very active, life right now, you are gradually increasing your chances of developing diabetes in later years of your life. So everything you see me do on this channel is not just because I want to create content. No, this is my own attempts at intentional living, and I want to encourage you watching me by uncovering some of these things that can help you live intentionally to protect your health. Remember, I told you this is your vessel and you have to protect it at all costs. So please make sure you watch the videos I share. Okay, I'm doing a lot of research behind the scenes, and I'm doing a lot of tests behind the scenes too, so that at least, I'm sharing some of the tests I'm doing so that you will know it's not just all those empty contents. No. Take it serious and put them into practice. They are not jokes. Now, let's go back to our main business of the day. We are talking about pre-diabetics, diabetics, okay? How to make sure you don't even get to the stage of pre-diabetes, not to talk of graduating into diabetics, all right? Now, one of the things I hate about diabetics is, the first one is this constant checking, pricking your finger to draw blood for that test. It can be very painful. Forget about how simple it looks. It is very painful. And I don't know if you want to do that, because once you are diabetic, if you really want to be on top of your game and manage your health well, you have to be checking that blood sugar. Some people do it every morning, some people do it 2 days, some people do it 3 days, but you must be checking it. Now, let me tell you a personal story. I became traumatized whenever I remember that I want to check my blood sugar. Even early this year, January, when I traveled to the village, my relative wanted to check his, and everybody were like, oh, let's go and check our blood sugar. When I came, I was like, oh, this thing is going to be very painful. My family nurse said, no, don't worry, check it. And I said, please, is there another way to draw blood? You can use normal syringe and draw blood. She said it won't work. I insisted, and she did it because that one was not that painful to me. This one traumatizes me. So even though she explained that it's not going to work, I insisted, and she drew blood from my vein, normal vein, put it on that glucometer. It didn't work. At the end of the day, they still pricked my finger and I shouted. Now imagine how sad and traumatized someone who has to do this every 2 days will feel. Now that one is for checking the blood sugar. What about the drugs someone has to be taking, sometimes morning and night, sometimes once a day? Because I remember when we went to the hospital and the doctor was telling my relative that since the blood sugar is high, he should be taking the drugs morning and night, but when it comes down, he should now take it once a day. That was from his doctor. Now imagine whether you want to live such a life, like you have to be taking drugs taking drugs all the days of your life. When I was researching for this video, I came across a report stating that the World Health Organization conducted a study in 2022 and discovered that 59% of adults over 30 living with diabetes are not even taking their drugs as they should. I know you'll be asking, why would they do such a thing? Is it that they don't want to live? My dear, it's not so easy to take these drugs, and a lot of people are scared of tablets, like they don't like drinking medicine. Now, apart from the drugs that people are scared of taking and the needle, there's also this constant fear of hyperglycemia. What does it mean? When someone's blood sugar gets so high that it causes problems for them. According to doctors, this particular situation, hyperglycemia, can cause nerve damages, eye disease, and even kidney damages. Now, apart from these kidney damages, eye issues, and nerve damages, hypoglycemia can lead to coma and eventually death. Like, I've seen it happen. This is not just the one I'm reading from medical research and reports. So you just really need to take it very seriously, all right? It's not something you assume. This is something you actually go to the hospital, or you can even go to a pharmacy like I did. Check your blood sugar level. If it is very high right now, go to the doctor. The doctor will tell you what to do. Now, do you know why it's important to make sure you are checking your blood sugar? If you are checking it constantly, it will be difficult for you to develop diabetes. Do you know why? Diabetes doesn't just land. There's this stage before diabetes, and that's the stage you can actually reverse. So if you ignore everything I'm saying in this video, you may have developed, or you may actually get to pre-diabetics. That's the stage, pre-diabetics. And when you get to that stage, you will still ignore everything I'm telling you in this video, and then it will graduate to actual type 2 diabetes. But please, let's not panic yet. I've been diagnosed with pre-diabetics before, like I told you earlier, and I reversed it. The best part is I did it naturally, because that day my doctor told me, he said, Glory, please don't panic, okay? You can actually reverse this naturally, changing your diet, doing some exercises, and make sure you are not sitting down every day in one place. Please find out and be very careful of those things you are eating right now. That was what he told me. But you see, I took it a step further to do small researches here and there, and discover that there is a recipe that you can use. It's all natural. Like, you can use it to reverse this high sugar pre-diabetics level very easy. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's simple and safe, and you can do it without spending much, okay? Like, the ingredients are just around you. You just pick them, and then you prepare the recipe, and then you'll be taking it, and everything will go back to normal. But before I take you to the market to pick these ingredients and take you to my kitchen to prepare these ingredients, let me tell you, that stage before diabetes is called pre-diabetic. It is at that stage where your sugar is, should we say at the middle, you are not diabetic, but you're not normal. According to a UC Davis Health Hospital report, the pre-diabetes range for a person's blood sugar is between 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter. This range is higher than normal, but not high enough to be classified as diabetics. So if your results now on the glucometer shows anything between 5.1 to 6.0, it means your blood sugar is not normal, and if it gets to 6.0, it means you are at that pre-diabetes stage. Yeah, a lot of people will tell you it's not bad. Yes, because it's not yet enough to be classified as diabetes. But remember, anything that high may not take a lot of things to, tip over and become full-blown type 2 diabetics. However, the good news is that when it's still at this abnormal to pre-diabetes stage, you can actually reverse it naturally. Even at this stage, the doctors will not give you any drugs because you are not diabetic. It's just that you have this high blood sugar. They will warn you and say, please change your lifestyle, change your diet, maybe take some natural foods and everything to make sure you bring it low, you bring it to a normal range. You see, but the unfortunate thing is, if you're not careful at that pre-diabetic stage, like I said earlier, it may go over to diabetes. There's one important aspect to consider. Do you know that sometimes pre-diabetes may not show you any symptoms, or even though the symptoms are there, you will not really, think it's because your blood sugar is very high. You will think maybe I'm just tired normally, or maybe the weather is hot, that's why I'm feeling this regular test, and you are needing to be taking water. Yeah, you may just think it's normal, and we like rationalizing when it comes to our health. Yes, being the reason we rationalize this is because we don't usually like going to the hospital, especially in this part of the world. Anybody, including I here, I would like to do anything that will make me not to visit the doctors, but now maybe because I'm matured, a little bit more matured, I've seen that really, really my health is more important than my wealth. So I am going to the doctors almost every time. Now, please pay very close attention to some of these symptoms so that when they start coming, you don't rationalize. If you're always getting tired easily, or you are always feeling thirsty and you are taking a lot of water, it may be that your blood sugar is high. Sometimes you may see yourself, visiting the bedroom, more frequently than normal. Or sometimes you're going to be feeling this tingling, maybe on your feet, and you just be wondering, why am I having this tingling sensation on my feet? Or sometimes you may see yourself eating more than usual. These are some of the symptoms of prediabetes. Another one that you really may not even attribute to high blood sugar is blurred vision. When you are seeing yourself, your vision gets blurry, and you may say, okay, maybe my age is high, okay, maybe I normally have eye problem and everything. You may not know that it's because your blood sugar is spiking. So once you notice any of these symptoms, don't just generalize or try to attribute it to something else. Go and see a doctor and let them do this test for you. If you don't want to go to the doctor, please go to the pharmacy. You will see a nurse there with a glucometer. They will check it. But let me tell you something. There are different tests here. The one I did personally, I went to the hospital. My doctor actually drew blood and did a comprehensive test. I can't remember what he called it, but I did mine in the hospital. All this glucometer, test is just all these, casual ones. So if you've not done that comprehensive one before, just go to the hospital, meet your doctor. They will do it for you so that you know the right point at which your blood sugar is now. Now, let me introduce the natural remedies I used and I'm still using. Whenever my blood sugar spikes, I use it to bring it down because I don't want it to graduate to diabetes. The first ingredient I use in this recipe is cinnamon. Cinnamon contains antioxidants that help the body reduce oxidative stress linked to the development of nearly every chronic disease, including type 2 diabetes. In a study conducted on 80 people with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, the researchers found that after taking 1.5 grams of cinnamon powder every day for 12 weeks, fasting insulin levels reduced while insulin sensitivity increased. That tells you how important cinnamon is. The next ingredient I add in this recipe is moringa leaf. Everybody knows about moringa. You must have heard it in a lot of recipes, but it's so important. It's going to help you to reduce your blood sugar. Moringa leaves contain compounds like quercetin and chlorogenic acid, which might help regulate insulin and control your blood sugar. According to complementary therapies in medicine studies, moringa can help reduce fasting blood sugar level. It also reversed high fructose diet-induced insulin resistance and improved testicular function. This is based on a study published in the Journal of Diabetes and Metabolic Disorders. Another study published in Phytotherapy Research revealed that consuming moringa with meals may help lower the glycemic response of those meals. The researchers found that adding moringa leaf powder to your meals can prevent blood sugar from rising after eating. This is because the leaves contain high amounts of fiber and other bioactive compounds. The third ingredient I add in this recipe is vinegar leaves. Research results from the Diabetes Action Research and Education Foundation have revealed that vinegar is very effective in lowering blood sugar. It contains acetic acid, which is capable of suppressing sugar. The next ingredient you don't want to miss in this recipe is lime or lemon. The American Diabetics Foundation classifies lemon as a superfood. Lemon juice is actually known to slow the conversion of carbohydrates to sugar. This is how it helps you lower blood sugar after eating. So with the lemon in this recipe, you don't have to be afraid of this spike in blood sugar. Now, in my next video, I'm going to be telling you why a lot of people may end up developing diabetes in this country as they age because of the foods we have available to us. Another ingredient I add in this recipe is what we all know, cloves. A research conducted by Life Extension proved that clove extract significantly reduced blood glucose in pre-diabetic people. Cloves contain what is known as polyphenols. This is a nutrient found in plants and known for lowering the risk of multiple diseases. Another thing that will shock you about cloves is that it slows glucose uptake from the intestine, and this reduces new glucose production in the liver and boosts glucose consumption by muscle cells. All this action help cloves to be a super ingredient in reducing or lowering blood sugar levels. Now we are going to prepare this simple recipe with our everyday natural ingredients. It's simple, but it's so effective when it comes to bringing down your blood sugar, preventing pre-diabetics, and making sure your blood sugar stays normal. Welcome to Glodikany Wellness Kitchen. This is our kitchen on the go in our office. This is where we are going to do all the experiments, every little cooking we are going to be making on this channel. This is where we'll be doing it, okay? So don't expect to see this, a fully equipped kitchen. What we took are those things that are necessary for the kind of things we want to be exploring. So you can just call this place Glodikany Wellness Research Lab, okay? So let's cook our pre-diabetics reversing juice, okay? Now I'm going to be bringing out the ingredients. You saw me buy them in the market. So let's bring them out one after the other. These are lemon. This is the cinnamon. The stick, you're not using the powder, the stick. Cloves. So this is the fresh vinegar leaves, okay? Here we have our moringa, but we're going to use the dry one, okay? You can get the fresh one if you have a tree nearby where you're staying. You can also bring the fresh one, but this one, we are using the dry one because we bought it in the market. So the first thing we are going to do, let's wash everything. You saw where we bought it in the market. So we'll go to the sink and wash them all before we put them in the pot. Now, due to the quantity, I bought little quantities of this. So I'm going to use this stainless cup. Just take 2 cups. If you want to make it in a larger quantity, you can add more water. That means you're going to increase the quantity of everything you buy. So I'm going to start by boiling the cinnamon stick. I'm just starting because it's, harder or stronger than the rest. So as I'm washing the other ones, I'll be adding, but let it just start boiling. Remember, I'm only using dry moringa leaves because I don't have access to the fresh one. If you have access to the fresh one, please by all means use it, okay? Still the same. Okay, so now that we've washed the ingredients, we can now add everything to the cinnamon stick on the fire. So remember, we are now adding everything. Once we are done adding all these things, we'll now cover the pot and allow everything to boil together. So now the ingredients are all mixed inside the pot. Let's now cover everything to boil together, at least for the next 10 minutes. Okay guys, so this thing has it has boiled enough. It's time to switch off our gas, allow it to sit and get cold before we now filter it out. So guys, this is the liquid we got after allowing it to get cold for some minutes. I'm calling it liquid. I don't want to call it juice because the truth is it's not going to be sweet. Like, it's bitter. Okay, so don't expect me to call this juice. Let's just go with the liquid, okay? So that you don't go and be cooking it and thinking you're going to drink juice. This is a bitter one. So now you've gotten it here. There are two things you can do. Is either you cut this your lemon and squeeze it into the entire content of your recipe, or you can keep it like this, as I want to do, because maybe I want to, get the taste of the fresh lemon. Now I'm going to cut it like this because I just need a few drops, not too much. So I'm going to squeeze some of it into this cup. I'm not really a fan of lemon because of some things. So I'm going to just put in some of the juice here, and then I will drink it directly. Okay. So it's either you put it all, squeeze one big one like this into the whole, or they should say the entire liquid you sieved out, or you can just keep it, get your lemons ready whenever you want to take it. You just squeeze some fresh lemons into it, fresh lemon juice into it, and then you drink it. So let me take it. Please don't mind my face, this is bitter. Okay, so that's the product we have just curated, and that has this capacity to bring down your blood sugar level. This drink and the healthy lifestyle is everything you need to bring down your blood sugar and make sure it doesn't migrate or develop from pre-diabetics to type 2 diabetes. For more detailed information about the ingredients I used in this recipe, go to the description below. I added all the links to the researches and everything I've said so far, so that you see I really did my homework. Please, 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 only prepare this recipe if you visit your doctor, take your blood sugar level in the hospital first, like I did. And then if it is high, okay, not diabetes, but pre-diabetes, you can go to the market, buy these ingredients and prepare this recipe and be taking it little by little, depending on how high or how high your blood sugar is. Why do I recommend visiting the doctor? When the hospital, the lab has taken your blood sugar level, the doctor will be the person to tell you whether you are at this pre-diabetes stage or whether it's normal. But according to the reports we saw, anything from 5.1 to 6.0, that means your blood sugar is okay. You are not diabetic, but it's higher than normal. Especially when it's getting closer to 6.0, it is higher than normal. If your doctor tells you that you really need to change your diet, you really need to keep fit and maybe change your lifestyle, you can come back, go to the market, buy this recipe, buy the ingredients and prepare the recipe, and then you start taking it little by little. Like I said earlier, if the blood sugar is very close to 6.0, please take it early in the morning before you eat anything and late at night before you sleep. But if it's not close to 6.0, please, you can just take it once a day. Remember, there is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is the opposite of hyperglycemia. Hypoglycemia, your blood sugar crashes so down, and you may see yourself fainting on the road. Don't call my name, because you have already crashed your blood sugar to the lowest of the lows, and you don't want to do that. Then another important times you can take this recipe is when you've loaded yourself with a lot of carbohydrates. Many of our foods here has high carb in them. So if you drank tea in the morning, ate rice in the afternoon, and then come back at night and still eat gari and soup, oh my God, you've really loaded your system with a lot of carbs. So you can take a shot of this recipe after eating. Before sleeping, you just take a shot of it. Now, if you're diabetic already, please discuss the ingredients with your doctor. Yeah, I know my relatives takes this same recipe, but it was after talking to their doctors and they approved it because it's all made up of natural ingredients. So their doctor said, okay, you can take it, but please make sure you are checking your blood sugar. So please, if you're diabetic and you're on any drug right now, which of course I know you are, go to your doctor, talk to your doctor and show him the ingredients, and then if he said you can go ahead, please go ahead. If he said you should not take it, please by all means avoid it. This is not a cure for diabetes. No, this is for some of us who are still struggling with managing our spike in blood sugar levels. So please talk to your doctor before you take it. The most important thing I want you to do to achieve amazing results is to share this video, subscribe to the channel, and give us a like. Now, if you will try this recipe, or if you have any question, or if you try it and you check your blood sugar level again and it worked for you, please go to the comment section and drop your comment. I would really love to read your comments. Don't forget the main goal of this channel, so please make sure you get everybody involved. Remember, your health is your real wealth, and I will see you in my next video. And before I go, please, if you're so scared of the needle that you don't want to take this test like I've recommended for everybody, bear one thing in mind: if anything happens to you, the body will decay. So stop feeling sorry for this flesh, okay?